a recent report by the OECD and World Bank analyzes the role of women in managerial positions in firms on performance of companies, and in particular it finds a positive association between the presence of women in managerial positions and the level of exports of the firm and the use of digital innovations. So this is very interesting, especially because this study looks at a very large sample of firms. We talk about 7,500 firms only in our country, and so it's very rich in terms of information and in terms of firms. But it's also interesting because if we think that there is a positive association between female managers and exports and the level of exports, for example, this poses some doubt with respect to the relation, which is well known, between women and risk aversion. In other words, we know from several academic studies that women are more risk averse than men. So probably this means that they are less innovative or more conservative because they don't want to risk, or that they should export less. But this is not the case when we look at the data reported by this OECD World Bank report. So we also note from the academic research that the risk aversion of women is true when we look at the average woman, so at the general population of women with respect to the general population of men. But if we look at managers, this is a little bit more uncertain. So we are not even sure from the academic point of view in research that female managers are more risk averse than male managers, and this is because they are highly selected. So women who are in this position are not the average women. So they are selected, and therefore they are probably more inclined to take some risks. Another important concept which I would like to underline is that these studies, these reports, provide only correlations. So there is a positive association between women in managerial positions and the level of exports or the use of the digital technology, but this does not imply causation, because it may be the case that firms which invest more in the digital, or firms with a higher level of export, are exactly those who hire more women or who promote more women in managerial position. Or there is an external variable which drives both results. So we really need more precise and more rigorous academic studies, and this is where we as researchers have to do have to play our role, because if we want really to assess the causal relation from women in managerial positions, in top positions, and outcomes, for example, level of exports, we need to be more rigorous.